How is it going, everyone? In the next couple of months, you can expect a ton of new PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 game releases, and while I'm sure a lot of you guys are excited for God of War Ragnarok, maybe Gotham Knights, there's going to be a plethora of games that I'm sure are going to go a bit under the radar, and that's what I want to highlight in this video. I want to go over 8 upcoming PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 titles for the rest of this year that you should know about. One of the games is a free-to-play title. We'll get to that when we get to it, but a lot of exciting games from RPGs, action titles, shooters, and everything in between. So let's get right into it, and let's start things off with a pretty notable RPG, and that is the Last Oricru. Last Oricru is an action RPG with a strong emphasis on storytelling and player choices. The player awakens in a sci-fi medieval world on the brink of a war and starts influencing the destiny of the whole world. Game is designed to be both a single player and a cooperative experience. Now, this is a game where choices are at the heart of the game. A lot of decision making and a lot of choices will be made throughout the game that will ultimately shape your experience. I won't say that this is a technically blow-away RPG by any stretch of the imagination. However, I do feel like there's quite a bit of depth to the game in the sense, again, there's a lot of decision making, the gameplay looks rather good, and this is a brand new RPG being published by Prime Matter. Prime Matter has been publishing a lot of pretty interesting titles, so we'll see how The Last Oricru turns out. The game is scheduled for a release on October 13th. Next up, here's an over-the-top first-person shooter that I think some people know about and are excited for, but definitely doesn't have as much attention as it deserves, and that is Metal Hellsinger. Metal Hellsinger does have a demo available right now, so if you're interested, go ahead and check that out, and if you want an over-the-top, music-heavy FPS, this is exactly that. I don't know exactly who thinks that in their head they would want a game like that, but this is a marriage of so many interesting aspects that Metal Hellsinger is turning out to be one of the sleeper hits of the year. Slay to the rhythm of metal and vengeance on an infernal journey through the 8 hells. Make them fear the beat. Metal Hellsinger is a rhythm-based FPS bursting with demons, badass weapons, and heavy metal music. Yeah, it's a little bit of Doom, and then it's a little bit of heavy metal music. Sounds like something a lot of people can get into. The game notes play through an epic storyline narrated by award-winning actor Troy Baker, unlock special challenges, and conquer the realms of torment and become more powerful in the stages and get a leg up on the leaderboards. Fight through fire, ice, metal, and madness. Although commonly known as hell, the infernal planes is in a reality a union of 1,000 hells, all of which are terrifying and diabolical in their own way. In order to dethrone the Red Judge, you must fight your way through the fiercest of corners. From the lead designer of Battlefield Bad Company 2, it's created by an experienced FPS team at The Outsiders and his passion project of David Goldfarb, game director on Payday 2 and lead designer on Battlefield 3 and BFBC 2. And an original metal soundtrack capping things off. The game is scheduled for release right around the corner. It'll be dropping on September 15th. Next up, we have the latest game from uber-talented studio in Flying Wild Hog. We have Evil West. A dark menace consumes the Old West. In solo or cooperative play, fight with style and visceral explosive combat against bloodthirsty monstrosities, eradicate the vampiric hordes with your lightning-fueled gauntlet, and become a Wild West superhero. This is an over-the-top Wild West title and definitely has a little bit of that weird element to it as well. Battle alone or with a friend in stylish, gory action combat, myths and legends retold with a stylized, weird Wild West universe, evolve with perks, upgradable weapons and tools, explore and fight through a story-driven campaign to save America. If you're unfamiliar with Flying Wild Hog, of course, they brought the excellent Shadow Warrior games to you. I know Shadow Warrior 3, not quite as good as Shadow Warrior 1 and 2, but based on their work with Shadow Warrior 1 and 2, and Shadow Warrior 3 still had some elements to like. I have a lot of high hopes for Evil West. I like the premise, I like the setting, visually it looks quite good. We'll see how the game turns out as it's scheduled for release on November 22nd. Next up, here's a game that I think a lot of people need to have their eyes on, and that is SIGNALIS. SIGNALIS is a classic survival horror experience set in a dystopian future where humanity has uncovered a dark secret, unravel a cosmic mystery, escape terrifying creatures, and scavenge an off-world government facility as Elster, a technician replica searching for her lost dreams. The game definitely has a bit of a throwback art style, but the look of the game has that dark ambiance going on for it as well. A dystopian future where humanity has colonized the solar system. The story begins as a replica named Elsa awakens from cryostasis in a wretched vessel. Now stranded on a cold planet, she sets out on a journey into the depths of unknown. Experience fear and apprehension as you encounter strange horrors, carefully manage scarce resources, and seek solutions to challenging riddles. SIGNALIS is a game that, if you're a fan of darker games with a very unique ambiance to it and atmosphere, this is one that should definitely be on your radar. SIGNALIS will be dropping on October 27th. Next up, we have the free-to-play game that I had assumed we'd be playing by now, but it should be out by the end of this year, and that is Century Age of Ashes. This was initially scheduled for a release over the summer, unfortunately, saw a bit of a delay on PlayStation 5, and now it looks to be released sometime in the very, very near future. Century Age of Ashes is a free-to-play multiplayer dragon battle game. Master a growing roster of classes and dragons, compete in intense arena battles, and rule the skies in fast-paced aerial combat. This is a game with a variety of different game modes. Carnage, a 6v6 killing spree with special power-ups appearing in the arena to unleash hell on your opponents. It's team deathmatch Dragon Rider style. Then you have Gates of Fire, a unique mode in which two teams clash over possession of the flag. Gain points by flying through special gates around the arena while holding the flag. Spoils of War, steal gold from mighty creatures and the enemy team while protecting your own gold nest, and adapt to various unexpected situations. And then you have Survival. It's every Dragoneer for themselves, pit against 8 other players in a ferocious and unforgiving free-for-all clash, and burn your way until there's only one left on the battlefield. More of a survival style mode. Century Age of Ashes is scheduled for a release on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 by the end of the year. Next up, we have another release that's right around the corner, Blind Fate Ito no Yami. I've been talking about this game a little bit on this channel, but the more I saw of it, the more I got intrigued by it. The game notes dive into a world that mixes sci-fi and ancient traditions, slash through robots with a trusty katana, use high-tech implants to navigate the surroundings, dodge enemy attacks, and land devastating finishes, reclaim the past following the way of the Japanese samurai in the fantastic period of New Edo. The game's got a pretty slick visual style, and gameplay is definitely at the heart of the title. Even blind, you are unstoppable. Use different sensors to detect your enemies and identify their weak spots, then crush them with lightning speed. The Mask of Oni creates a simulation of the world around you, but tread carefully. Old data will show you only deceiving echoes of the past. A pretty interesting narrative looks to be attached as well. Discover the story of dozens of robotic versions of Japanese folktale creatures, find their weaknesses, and destroy each one with a devastating finisher. The Cyber Samurai title in Blind Fate Ito no Yami is scheduled for a release on September 15th. Next up, if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, have a Moonscars on your radar. Another one with a throwback, darker art style. Push the limits of your combat skills and master new abilities to progress through an unforgiving, non-linear 2D world. Fight off against the relentless darkness that seeks to destroy you. In Moonscars, every death is a lesson learned, and as you overcome each challenge, new truths will be revealed to the player. Game is gruesome, game is bloody, and it is definitely darker in aesthetic and stylization. Before you rise, you must first fall. Mold yourself into a master warrior through a cycle of trial and triumph. Explore the shadows and secrets concealed in the moonlight of a painterly, non-linear 2D realm. Marred by desperation and despair, sharpen your skills and reflexes in challenging action-packed combat. Slash and parry with your sword, wield unique special weapons, and command powerful witchery. Unearth a strange dark fantasy tale filled with twists and intricate world building. Seek the truth of your creation and be rewarded. Bear witness to tales and memories of betrayal, suffering, and revenge as Grey Irma and her fellow beings of flesh and clay seek truth and purpose. Moonscars is scheduled for a release at the end of this month on September 27th. And lastly, let's round out the video with another Metroidvania title. This one really came on the radar and bursted onto the scene recently, and that is Ghost Song. The game notes: on the desolate moon of Lorien, a long-dormant dead suit awakens from slumber. Journey beneath the surface on an atmospheric 2D adventure of self-discovery, ancient mysteries, and cosmic terror. Explore winding caverns and acquire new abilities to unearth this alien world's long-buried secret. This is another game with a super unique aesthetic style. Again, a little bit of a darker vibe going on for it, definitely more colorful than Moonscars, but looks to be an interesting Metroidvania title in its own right. And this is another one that's got some gruesome aspects to it as well. Blood and guts definitely a bit represented in this one, but Ghost Song will be dropping on November 3rd. And that is gonna do it for me. Again, this is really just the tip of the iceberg as far as some of the lower key titles releasing this year. There's a ton of stuff still to come for the rest of the year, and with, you know, some of these smaller games, sometimes a release date is announced and then the game just quickly comes out right thereafter. So be on the lookout for a large variety of games. Again, God of War Ragnarok, Gotham Knights, those titles are definitely going to have a lot of buzz, and you guys already know about them, but these titles may have slipped your radar. Put them on your wish list, have an eye on them, they might end up surprising you. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.